Hey everybody, welcome to the start line. Welcome to something certainly new to my channel, something that I've not done before. That is the overlaid telemetry and commentary. So we are at the start line of the Life Time Grand Prix, opening race of the Grand Prix season, opening race of my season. And there we have Nat Ross walking front center off to the left, U.S. Mountain Bike Hall of Fame member. Obviously a good mountain biker and an even better person. Off to my left, we have Finn Gullikson, young up-and-comer with some nasty results to his name. Off my right is Rob Britton, someone I've raced with over the years. On the mic there is Bill Elliston, longtime staple of the domestic road scene, someone I raced with many, many times over the years. So yeah, here we are. Obviously a pretty killer start position. We have 130 people behind me. So despite getting to the start line the start zone, probably 45 minutes before the race even started, I got my visit to the porta potty out of the way. I went to start doing warm-ups and I saw people lining up and I thought I need to forego warm-ups in order to have the start position. Oh, ready, set, go. Goodness gracious. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty ferocious opening 2 minutes. I don't know if you're well versed in the opening corkscrew of Sea Otter, but up and running. You got Ryan Standish off to my right there. Massive age discrepancy all over the map. I mean, the Bear Devo team directly in front of me. Peter Vakoch directly in front of me now in the white shorts. He's someone I raced with many times over the years. Taylor Ledeen there. Matt Beers is directly in front of Taylor in the blue. Payson directly in front of me now. Griffin Easter there off to my right. So, depending on how well versed you are in this course, you're going to start with this. However long we've been racing, 0.3 miles here. It flattens out a tiny bit, and then it's going to ramp up very sharply to the left. So, at this point, I've spent most of the time north of 500 watts. And then we get into this kicker and just watch. I don't know. I mean, watch how everybody's just absolutely scrambling. I'm going to spend the majority of the next 30 seconds here above 800 watts. So all said and done, going into the pinch point, I will do 2 minutes north of 600. One person to really look at, you might want to scrub back and rewind it, is to watch what Matt Beers does, because he's basically right next to me up until about 10 seconds ago, and then he's sprinting, gunning it up on the left in order to make it into the pinch point ahead of most people. Speaking of speed, I'm interested to see Peter here's cadence, which is lower than most, but obviously is working for him. There in the red, white, and blue stars and bars is our friend Brennan Wirtz, U.S. national champion. So yeah, we're 2 minutes in. Going into this double track section, which continues to largely be an uphill drag. When I'm doing my VO2 efforts, I typically recover at 0. Or spin the legs at 100 watts, 200 watts, something like that. And then what I've come to realize in watching this is I need to do most of my 800 watt efforts and recover at 300. Hey fellas, don't forget to stay on your bike. Yeah, so first race of my season. I mean, what am I expecting? Going against the likes of folks who have full-on stage races in their legs. I'm not looking for excuses. It would be nice to go do a full winter in warm weather climate, but the opportunity comes up to race Sea Otter, and it's just such a classic that I'm thrilled to be here. So, I didn't go in with high hopes. I know where my fitness is. It's got some bike packing races in it this year, but to do this super high level of intensity is it's a reality check. We're now another minute in. I remember seeing my opening 3 minutes is at about 570, I think, normalized 600. So outside of coming out of this race, with as much fitness as possible. It is to survive the opening 7 miles, okay? And in particular, this section that we're going into now is the danger zone. You see visibility begins to go to non-existent. I don't know if you saw that manhole-sized hole that we just passed over. I mean, that is the kind of thing that if someone sinks a wheel into it at, here we are, 37, 38, 39 miles an hour, like, there's no stopping. You're in a heck of a lot of trouble there. So yeah, to get through this section safely is a priority. Justin McQuarrie off to my left, Texan, great guy. John Borstelman right there in front of me now. Another screaming fast section, a little bit loose there. Visibility goes to nothing. And why not punch it up to 600, 700, 800 watts again? So, okay, again, bigger picture. Opening absolute red line climb. Here's the rolling section into a pretty hair-raising descent. This is super small stones. Kind of feels like kitty litter. In the next couple miles, it's going to amount to some flat to off-camber corners, washboards, where your chief priority outside of going fast is to stay on the road. Or maybe the priority is to stay on the road and the secondary priority is to go fast. A lot of camera crews off to the side, a lot of dust in the air, a lot of dust way off in the distance, because at this point the leaders are probably, 15 seconds up the road. I mean, yeah, I kind of want to scream at everybody and be like, y'all, let's just get to the bottom. I had joked earlier I want everybody to do 100 burpees and then start racing so that we're already on the limit, as opposed to starting with everybody fresh as a daisy and then go screaming up the up the corkscrew. So, washboard here. It's actually kind of soft to the left if you went flying off that cliff there previously. Caleb Schwartz just passed me there. That's someone I actually have a fair amount of faith in because he's a quality cyclocross racer. Absolutely beautiful up here. I mean, outside of grabbing onto the bars, if you have the opportunity to look around, it's stunning. And here watching Caleb scoot through traffic here is fairly impressive. If you're on your gravel bike and you're going down a paved road at 20 miles an hour, 30, 35 miles an hour here, 35 miles an hour on a paved road doesn't feel like nothing. That's a double negative. It doesn't really feel like much. Oh, this is a pretty sharp corner. But when you're going 35 miles an hour on loose gravel downhill with a bunch of contemporaries, it's kind of hair-raising. Kickstand out. Just cutting through the wind there with his Aero road shoes. If I'm not mistaken, yep, the kickstand goes back out. Another hole in the center of the road. Thankfully, it appears most people had pre-ridden so that they didn't sink their wheels into it. Bottles, washboards, kickstands, getting close to the bottom of the descent here. I'm actually going to fast forward through this. It's a tiny bit of a roller section. And then we begin what amounts to climb 2. So if you're looking bottom center of the screen now in the elevation profile, look where it says 31. And the little yellow bar to the left of that, that's where we are on the course, is the yellow piece, apparently 31 feet above sea level. So as the race has unfolded now, I'm in a small group here. Lachlan's there on the front, just railing it. We're going up, 1, 2, 3% grade, as you can see off to the right. He is motoring. There are, when I can see up the road, way up the road, it sort of largely amounts to 2 major groups. There's the lead group way up there. There's group 2, and we're effectively group 3. And so over the course of this next, I want to say it was like a 2.5 or 3 mile climb. A sizable climb. It's going to start here on the sort of false flatty climb stuff. Okay, we're already up to 6%. on the gravel, and then we're going to kick up to a pretty steep paved section. And over the course of this period of this climb, we are kind of mowing through groups and really re-establishing ourselves as a group. Some nice pedestrians and recreators off to the side. The funny point of gravel is that we're doing it on wide open public roads, or in this case, public walking paths. I don't know if you've been eyeing the lower right heart rate. I was 100 beats per minute on the start line. I think any other gravel race, I'll start a race at like 60. So to be at 100 beats per minute at the start is a sign that my nerves were in high gear here. Also in general, I have a low max heart rate, so 157 is awfully high for me right here, which is on account of railing it those first 3 minutes, and then rather than really sitting at a 0 watt recovery, it's a lot of the power you see here. It's like recovering with these 400, 500, 600, 700 watt sprints. So yeah, a bit of a high intensity reality check. There's Stefano Barbieri on my left. I just went out of sight in the red jersey. He had a good day, Southern California, and he's a bit of I told him he's my barometer. How's my fitness check over the course of the season? The Spratt brothers are in this group. So yeah, onto the pavement. Heart rate's going up. I can do a style check here, folks. I don't know if you noticed, but it's not just white shoes, white socks that are in abundance, but it's the white Aero socks and white shoes. Not only that, but it's white Aero socks and white road shoes are the popular choice. With due respect to Borstelmann there in black on black. Borstelmann does it differently. Great dude, extraordinarily fast. Yeah, I don't know where that puts me. I was white on white. I had white cotton socks, which are very fresh and poppin', with white gravel shoes, which looked sick. But apparently my ankles weren't as fast as they could have been based on the demographics surrounding me. Beautiful course. I mean, I do need to give credit to the organizers. As much as it was a challenging course to throw 130 hellbent racers on, you know, in years past they've done the gravel race on the single track mountain bike course, which was met with a little bit of derision, unpopularity. Whereas this, I think they did a great job putting together a gravel course, despite saying that here on a paved section. Yeah, a lot of 2 wide, 3 wide section. This is about as wide as the course got all day. So this is getting close to the top of that second climb. Again, wishing I could recover, but here at 163 beats per minute, it's hard to recover it. Shy of 600 watts. Stefano saying, I'm going to go off the front of this group, but in reality, he's not. I mean, you know, everybody who gets to the front of this group is trying to keep the pace high. You know what? We're 6 miles into the race at this point. Like I said, I wanted to survive the first 7-ish. So yeah, this is the point at which I'm like, okay, I'm largely safe. I can survive the next 82 miles and call it a solid outing. If you're not familiar with the course, it is 3 30-mile laps, roughly 3,000 feet of climbing per. It's funny the relative pitches. So this feels perfectly flat at 2.8%. And that's a result of just going up over 16%, just shy of this. And so, I mean, I literally, if you were to ask me what happens after that section, I would say you're going downhill or flat, but that's what 3% feels like. And also knowing we're going into this, what do we got? 10%, 8%, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Lachlan there. The jack of all trades. I mean, he was a motor here. he was on the front quite a bit. Oh, watch out for that grass, Ted. Yeah, lap 1, if he wasn't right there, fourth wheel, he was on the front railing it. So he can go uphill so smoothly, so fast. Into a screaming fast descent. This is going to be my high speed of the day. I think it wasn't actually on lap 1, but I was talking to Alex Wild later that we both had the same top speed of 52.4 miles per hour. So I'm riding on, I'm on 700 by 48 mil tires. They're on the Explorer wheel by Zip, so it actually measures out to a 51, which is pretty sweet. In addition to white on white shoes and socks, my goodness, the number of mountain bike tires you see out here is plentiful. So, sharp left, end of that kitty litter, handful of people going off the road, into this feed zone section. I mean, I spent the majority of lap 1 longing for more, having done more VO2 efforts. It's like I can't glue myself on the wheel. I'm thrilled to have done this race, to gain the fitness from that. There's only so much pressing the lap button that I can do in the off season in my basement, as opposed to real world power reality checks. It's as if you're watching this and screaming like, "Hey Ted, grab the flipping wheel in front of you." I know, I've spent a lot of time in a Peloton. I'm familiar with this. I'm cross-eyed now because this is hard. All said and done, I finish 61st. I think there were 125, 130 starters. So there I am, smack in the middle of the results. Someone had said in the weeks prior to this race, "Hey Ted, when are you going to race age group?" My brother pointed out I was the oldest finisher in the race. And if I raced age group, I would have won by 45 minutes. So I call that a bit of a conundrum. Anyway, you've got an idea of what's going on here. Thanks for watching. Please let me know if you enjoy my commentary, or if you think I should maybe just keep it to myself. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.